I wonder how...
I completely butchered that freaking thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just look it up. It's just Ted Lasso going. This is like, instead of, it says live, he's just like, live! Cool. You should live! Yeah.
Brandon needs more practice at this. We've been gone for a while.
We haven't gone at this for a while. My communication skills are just like, bleh. I've been yelling for coaching all day. So my brain is wiped.
I wonder if they could see our chanclas from here. I don't think so. It's a chancla kind of night.
Yeah. Dude, okay, here's the thing.
We look like bums.
On the chair?
Huh?
On the chair or what?
No, we look like bums.
Oh, we look like bums. I thought you said you felt bumps.
It's because if it's sleepover attire, Brandon's sleeping over.
That is. You're like, oh, I'm sleeping over.
We're going to sleep over and watch anime all night.
Yes, I'd be so down.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
Okay, here's the thing. If you had to choose a binge watch for all-nighter for an anime, what would you pick?
Dang, that's a good one because it can't be too long.
No, it has to be like...
So right away, it goes movie.
Oh, you go straight to a movie?
Yeah, because you can't watch.
I completely forgot to tell you. They're showing the Gundam movies in theaters. I completely forgot to tell you.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Regency had a few of them because we were looking at going to the movies when we got back from Japan.
Yeah, they had 1, 2, and 3 in theaters.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I got Gundam movies. And speaking of Gundam, newest addition to my collection, RX-78 Super Pop.
Very nice, very nice.
Apparently, I don't know how I got it. I got it off of Funko's website.
Really?
Yes, and they are sold out right now. Like, I went to go look to see. I'm like, why is it? Did I get the wrong one? I like the standard sizes. That's just me. But apparently, they only made this in Super Pop. I didn't know that. So
yeah,
I'm
there's
like, it throws off my feng shui.
Your feng shui. They have it for Kurama, too. And Kurama's giant. They have it for all my... They have some massive ones, too.
I know that they had a release for Attack on Titan. Mm-hmm. And the Giant Titan only came in Super Pop.
Yes.
Because so I get it. Like, Gundams they're big, right? So I get it. So I'm like, okay, that justifies it. But I didn't know that they were coming in Super Pop. So when I got it, I was like, why is this? I came in a massive like delivery box, right? And I'm like, did I buy a Gundam? like an actual
the whole thing,
like the whole thing? And I'm just like, okay. So I open it up and I'm like, oh, it's a Super Pop. I'm like, I did not know that. And then I was racking my brain and trying to find, like, is this the original release or is this like a secondary release? I don't
knock off or something.
Yeah, I don't want like a secondary release. No, I know it's for sure from them. It came from their website. But I just, me, I'm very like aesthetic, right? You know, being in Japan and seeing like how everything is minimalist and just everything makes sense. When I got it, I'm like, it's going to be the only Super Pop I have.
You're like, oh no, I have to get more.
Yeah, but then when I read why they did it, like, because Gundams they massive. Wanted to look like it's towering over all the other pops. I was like, oh, okay.
Actually, I have a question.
I can get behind that.
Is RX the normal size Gundam or is he smaller? Because the only reason I asked that is because in Ready Player One, one of the characters towards the end of the movie, like he got a special achievement. He can transform into RX for like a minute.
Right.
And he looks a lot smaller compared to like Mechagodzilla and some like other characters. I don't know if it's scaled
but
to it.
That's I know what you mean. He looks like an action figure, almost. But you gotta keep in mind, Godzilla is a kaiju,
right?
So he should be massively larger,
right?
So to answer your question, it's the scale.
Okay.
Gundams are not supposed to be Titans, right? They're mechs.
Okay. So they're not.
It's not a RoboCop mech suit that you put on, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're like in between. They're definitely smaller than a kaiju. So the fact that it was smaller than Godzilla,
it was a good chunk smaller than.
No, yeah, I know. I know what you mean. Like it was like.
Oh wait, I was gonna say also when you played when you showed me when you played the Gundam video game, it was no longer larger than like there was maybe like 6, 7 stories.
Godzilla towers over a skyscraper. Like
that is the size of a toe.
So when you think about it, it is a scale then.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Come on, Spielberg is the one that did Ready Player One. I'm sure they thought about scale.
Yeah, but that's so crazy. 7 stories. I thought they were like bigger. Because like if you actually think about it, 7 stories is not that much.
But you're really like you're piloting it. You know what I mean? Like it's like I think the misalignment for the general person that doesn't really know about Gundam or the franchise or anything like that is that people are used to seeing Power Rangers.
Yeah.
They're used to seeing Pacific Rim.
So
those are kaiju fighting mechs. So they're massive. They are kaiju size. A Gundam is not that big. I mean, it's big,
but it's not like that.
It's not a Titan. That's what I'm saying. Like Titan has to me at least, has a connotation of like it could rival a mountain, right?
Oh, right. Now I see your sense of scaling.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm like, 7 stories is not that tall. Like I've jumped off the first story to not get tagged once while playing tag, and that was fine. So
I can jump 7 more.
Like add 6 more, that should be fine.
If I reach terminal velocity, I'll just duck and roll.
Okay, 2 things. I heard one actually. I forget how many stories up it is, but eventually it's like there's like a perfect like 50-50 or like close to a 50-50 chance if you jumped off you would survive. I forget how many stories up it is. I think it's like 13 stories up.
Probably. I don't remember. I can't find my...
Your what?
My little multi-tool thing that I used to open up. Oh, there it is.
Oh. And then 2, I heard, I don't know if it's true, we'll fact check it because I've seen it on the internet. Apparently, squirrels can survive a terminal velocity fall. Because squirrels are one
I saw a squirrel fall off the power line in front of my house here, and it went crack, and you could hear like unless it hit its head on the pavement, which is so sad. But like we heard it like hit the ground, and it didn't survive.
it was affected.
I felt so bad for it. I was like, do I put it out of its misery?
Just get the shovel,
or do I just let it take its course and like squirm to the tree, and he died underneath the tree.
It's just like some like World War II movie. He just like limps over the tree, turns over, hand on his stomach, and just like
I guess this
is it.
Final breath. How come in war movies they make dying so peaceful?
Yeah.
Even when it's war.
Okay.
But then like in any other movie where it's like let's say it's a romantic movie and the dying it's like so dramatic. It's so like painful or intense.
Well, Saving Private Ryan was pretty damn intense when it came to that. Like the opening scene, like for D-Day, it just like that was good. That's actually a good movie. I haven't watched it in a hot
Saving
minute.
Private Ryan is like set the bar for war movies.
Mm-hmm. So good. But before we keep rambling for any much longer,
oh, I want to do the intro.
Why do you think I was pointing at you behind Maybach? I'm just like,
what are you getting at?
Q.
All right. Well, I remember this. Hold on.
I'll give you a minute.
Cut. Right. Coming to you, huh?
This is staying in.
I know we're staying in. Coming to you from a dumpy little garage in the San Fernando Valley.
私は Brandon です。あなたは Ryan です。
Ryan-san.
And we are Bridging
Otacos.
I literally looked it up earlier. I was like, wait a second. I know it's 私は Brandon. And then it's like, no, あなたの is you are. Yeah, so あなたの.
私の名前は Ryan.
Era Ryan.
私の名前は Ryan, right?
I thought you said 私は名前は Era Ryan.
Era? It is Otacos.
That is true. So yes, Ryan did go to Japan, and the funny thing is, I got you souvenirs. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reveal actually.
Oh, that's right.
I did. You do know about these.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. Thank you.
No, these 2.
I honestly.
Rurouni Kenshin manga, and then 2 more pop figures. So Merry Christmas.
That is so sick, dude. Thank you, man. Thank you.
The funny thing is I texted him.
You gotta get in camera, dude.
Get in camera. That's true. I texted him being like...
Thank you. Appreciate that. That's awesome, man. Wow. I'm actually... Wow. I will actually... Like, you know how like sometimes you get gifts and you're like, cool, thanks. And you're like, just film on the show.
These
are going up here.
Avocado.
Dude,
thanks.
Where'd you get Goku?
I had him for years.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I always debated like, I don't have a Super Saiyan Goku, which is like iconic, right? And I was like, but he's not rare. So I'm like, eh. As you can tell, like the rarer ones.
Yeah, he's just like, we need the specialty ones.
And you have like legit, like okay, you have this Naruto.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because the thing is, I used to collect Funko Pops when I was younger, and when I went to the UK, like I had a whole bin of them, and like, I don't really want them. So I was selling them. I was like, oh wait, I have like one or two anime ones. So I'm like, I grabbed them. I'm like, I know you like Funko Pops. I'm like, here you go. Merry Christmas.
I do. They are one of my collection. I would say repertoire is Funko, Lego, and anything that could I'm gonna put these. I'll just put them in the front right now.
Yeah.
Anything. Those are awesome, dude. I like that. The artwork cover is amazing.
Yeah, I found them at a secondhand bookstore actually.
Dude, they're secondhand. That's secondhand. They look new.
Yeah, they're secondhand.
No way.
Yeah, you can tell if it's secondhand because it's a little yellower around the edges. And you can see like it's a little worn on the back. But yeah, these are
volume. This is volume 12. So this is Oniwaban.
And then that's volume 9 over there. Yeah. Because I was digging around trying to see if I found any other ones.
That is so sick, dude.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't go to Book Off actually, because most people would be like, "Oh yeah, you probably went to Book Off," which is like all secondhand anime stuff. No, I just went to a local like bookstore, and they just had one. They had a manga section, so I'm like, "Oh, let's see what there is." So I was looking for No Game No Life, and I'm trying to hunt down the Fate Zero manga.
Dude, this is so sick. Thank you, man.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. This is
Merry Christmas.
And it's funny. It's funny because like Rurouni Kenshin, even to people that are in my age range, is not like super well known. Like I don't know. Like as far as people I know, right? I'll be like, "Oh, Rurouni Kenshin," and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay, Samurai X, huh? Wandering Samurai, no. Scarring his cheek, like really? You don't like? He's like that."
You're like going down the whole list.
Yeah, they're like, "No, I don't remember." I'm like, "It's like the samurai anime," and they're like, "No, like Samurai Champloo." Yeah, I'm like, "No, dude, you have not seen like." Ugh.
I think Samurai Champloo
I'm not sure it's good.
Has like overshadowed it maybe in recent times because people are like, "That's a really good one. It's very distinct."
I think because you're watching the anime now, right?
Rurouni Kenshin?
Yeah.
I watched the first episode because I don't know if you guys seen the past episodes when you were mentioning it. I had to dig around through so many episodes trying to find like the specific thing you were talking about. So I went down like rabbit holes being like, where's this specific scene? Okay, is this here? And then like trying to find the exact episodes.
Crunchyroll is remaking all of them.
Yes. I kid you not, I took a break from looking at the footage I needed to find and someone was like comparing the two. And it's like the characters are so off too. Because it's just like, oh yeah, when you meet Rurouni, he's just like...
There is a hit. It hits different in the 2D animation stuff, right? I mean, they're still using 2D animation, but at times they are. I think like I don't know the process what they do now. Like I'm not in that realm anymore. So like I'm just like, okay, it looks like they're using 3-dimensional movement when they're fighting and when like there's some kind of depth they want to portray and speed. But it looks like when they're just like sitting around talking or whatever, that it still might be digitally hand drawn now with that, but it's not being hand drawn the way it used to be.
No way. I'll be honest, I saw like the comparison between the two, and it was like,
what do you prefer?
The old one. The old one looked so much better. It literally, I kid you not, the new one looks just like if you slapped a Demon Slayer filter on it.
Right?
It's like exactly what you said. Yeah. Demon Slayer Season 1, and then the shonen look. Everything's going the shonen look, and I'll be honest, not the biggest fan of it. I don't know. It feels too cartoony and bubbly, if that's the right words to use. But it just...
Look at Goku.
It doesn't hit right.
Like, and I'm not trying to be on like the Dragon Ball bandwagon here. I'm an actual fan. Like I've been a fan since Dragon Ball. Like since Goku was if you didn't know, he was a tubby little kid. Like he had no muscle mass at all. He looked, in a sense, it looked like it was for like a kid's cartoon, right? It looked like it was for kids, even though it wasn't. But the whole, we're talking about art now.
Yeah.
I think the best of the old anime style, like I would say early 2000s is when it peaked. 2D animation stuff. They were using some digital effects, like, you know, they would digitize the hand-drawn whatever boards.
It would be to enhance it.
Yeah, it would be an enhancement. So, for example, like Goku's aura would actually glow now because it wasn't just being painted or whatever. However they did it. I mean,
they just put those little visual effects on it.
Yeah. But now, for example, the opening of Daima, right? It's a good opening. But Dragon Ball Z's original opening is still better. the animation style. Can you like Kai? I know you like Kai, dude.
Okay, here's the thing. I just edited down like all the episodes, so everything that we've talked about is like really fresh in my mind. So when you're like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z, like I've been there since then. I just remember him being like, Dragon.
Yeah, but okay. So for that reason, I am gonna stop the conversation of this because we've already talked about it, and I don't want people to be like, oh, that's all we're gonna talk about is like, okay, no, let's talk about something else. so yes, I like Dragon Ball.
Yes.
I don't think I'm gonna say my hot take on this episode.
Fair enough. We'll save the hot takes for a different day.
But I do want to talk to you about it. I'll see what you think.
Alrighty, for sure.
All right.
Because I've started Daima. But another thing that's come up was recently, because I'm watching Blue Lock Season 2.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, anybody else that has seen Blue Lock Season 1 and then watch Blue Lock Season 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you know how pissed we all are. So here's what exactly that happened.
Is it a Demon Slayer type thing? Like Season 1 massively good and Season 2 kind of...
Okay, the plot is fine, it's the animation.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No. Sorry, I lied. It's not the animation. It went from animation to either watching a visual novel or it's a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, Record of Ragnarok seem to have more movement. Do you know what they've done? They've taken manga, it looks like manga stills, and they've just enhanced them. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna put this cool visual effect on it. And characters, this is how they move. Instead of like them running and fluid, they're just...
like... Well, because of his like...
No. Everybody's moving. It's just... that. And it's just like...
So what's the purpose for that though? Like what?
I don't know. They've taken away actual movement to then just put like, oh, we're gonna have them like. I've seen people meme everywhere, like the anime man on Instagram. Like they've even memed about it too.
Really?
Where it's just moving PNGs with like enhanced colors. Like okay, if it was manga panels,
this is the problem with and I'm not trying to cut you off, but this is the problem with because okay, I was just in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious they care about quality and detail, right? But what happens when we talked about this in I think episode 1, when you mass advertise your product to the world is now you have a consumer base, a consumption amount that is unrealistic, right? And I get it. Like, you know, back in the day, like people complain like, oh, it took forever for Goku to go Super Saiyan. But it also taught you patience. It also taught you, okay, maybe I don't need to watch every episode. It also made you think like, well, what if? What if? I remember sitting down and making like, okay, I'm kind of bored with Goku doing right now, so I'm not trying to talk about Dragon Ball, but that's just the example. Let's just talk about, let's say Gundam for an example, right?
Yeah.
I want to make my own Gundam. I'm going to use my own brain, my own imagination, and make and draw my own Gundam. Draw it. I suck at drawing. I don't care. I'm going to try, right? So now it's like, no, feed it to me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like the way that looks. And then now, instead of people using their imagination, or just be like, you know what, it's cool, right? I'll they gave it to me. I'll still consume it, right? No, they're like, no, I don't want it. This and that, and then so the production companies are like, okay, well, how do we address this? We can't redo animations every week, right? So they're doing the 3D thing. They're doing this JPEG,
like okay,
a PNG movement thing.
Again,
like
if,
you know,
if it was colored manga panels, it would look phenomenal. It would look amazing. Like it is stunning. Like if I read it, I would buy a colored version of this manga.
It's like make it one or the other, right? Like pick a lane, basically.
Like it looks beautiful. If it was that. For animation, it feels like an absolute rip-off because you're just like, there's like the first episode, whenever they're playing, barely any movement. Second of next few episodes, okay, there's some hints of movement, but not nearly as much as the first season.
Right.
Like style visually amazing, but no, it's like the same thing with like Seven Deadly Sins. Everybody was hyped with the first two seasons because the animation was good, the story was decent, like hype. Absolutely fell off when you saw like the Meliodas and Escanor fight because it looked like it was done by one person using After Effects. Like me trying to use After Effects when I used the first school. My gosh. Funny thing is, I cheesed most of it. I had to do like a 30-second like animation. I can't animate. I can't draw, okay? I was doing this for class, and this is how I cheesed it. I'm like, okay, the guy, he's on a boat, like he likes to fish, solitude, blah, 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 this whole backstory. I put 10 seconds. He opens his eyes. He's relaxing on his hammock. First person view. You're looking at the sky. He blinks a few times. Oh, it's nighttime. Oh, okay. And then it's just like, oh, first person. We're looking at water for another 5 seconds. I'm like, I need to scrape off as much as I need to not actually animate. And that's what it looks like half the time. And that's what that Escanor and Meliodas fight looked like.
See, and that's why I don't get it. These people, I think the mistake is, and going to Japan again makes you realize, okay, it kind of takes away some of the magic, I guess, from animation and anime in Japan. It does, because now you're like, oh, this is a real place. I'm here.
Right.
I'm walking the streets that I've always dreamed about going to. Like, I was walking through Shiniyanari, right?
Oh.
The shrine, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm walking around, like, everything is, like, orange. And my color, we're talking about our color, right? Or I'm like, and I'm looking at Brittany, right? I'm looking at my wife, and then she's like, I think I know why you like orange. And I know, it must have been, I mean, obviously, right? Maybe it was fed to me. Goku wears orange, Dragon Balls are orange.
Yeah.
Naruto wears orange. Like, maybe there has something to do with that, right?
Just subtly implanted in your head.
Maybe. But why did they do that? Shiniyanari, the shrine, it's based on a fox spirit. Their logo is a fox. Oh. And who has a fox spirit in them?
Ta-da!
Naruto.
The orange is
so it's obviously yeah, exactly. And around that area, there's a ton of forest in Kyoto. So I'm like, okay, hidden in the leaves, orange shrine.
Makes sense.
In the mountains. I'm like, okay, someone came here
and thought
this is where I'm going to base, or where they might have been influenced to put those elements in Naruto. You know what I mean? Which works, because they're part of their culture. It resembles what they're around, and then when we see it, we're like, oh, that's different. That's unique. So
it's different and unique to us because, how you said, we haven't been there. Like, for example, someone look at the Great Gatsby maybe and be like, oh, that's very unique. It's like, well, that was America in the 20s.
Yeah, it doesn't exist no more, right? You know? So I say that not to talk about Naruto, but to be like, okay, there's this sense of lure and like magic, right? And I wouldn't say magic. I would say it's just like it feels special in some way. And don't get me wrong, it's very special. Like when I say it was a dream come true, I still feel like it was a dream. I feel like I wasn't there now because I'm back in the States, right? And I'm like, I really went there. I really did that, right? And so what I'm saying is, for anime,
PJSD, post Japan stress disorder.
Yeah, I need to go back.
I'm going to summer.
Yeah, let's hitch right in your suitcase or something.
No, that's only for room for a Japanese girlfriend if I get one.
Never mind, I'm not gonna say anything.
No, I know where you're going with this. No. I know where you're going with that one.
I'm not gonna say anything. But if okay, so what I'm trying to say is that your point was that they're I'm sorry, I'm like blanking out on what
I was just talking about like how Blue Lock season 2 kind of fell off. Like it's like, okay, decent animation, and then just like
okay, that's why. Okay, so here's my point. That they bank on the idea like, oh well, no one really knows, it's still a mystery, right? As far as the animation goes, or like how they did that, or like I said, I used to wonder, how do they make a laser look like a laser on a piece of paper? You know what I mean? I was like, I try to draw it, just look like a pink line, right? So I'm like, how do they do it, right?
Right.
Now they can't do that no more. They can't pull like a fast one on the audience anymore, especially if like, oh, we're behind, we have a lower budget, production, blah 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 blah. Like they gotta give what the people are looking for now, especially when you have caliber level. Like Attack on Titan changed the game animation wise for everybody. Like even at that point, Super was not even nowhere near the works.
Well, did it? What came first, Attack on Titan or Fate? Fate Zero.
Well, I'm talking. It doesn't really matter which one came first.
Okay.
Because let's just be honest, Attack on Titan was more popular.
That is true.
So what had bigger influence in the eyes of many?
Okay,
right?
That's true. I see your point there.
Like, and that's not to say that Fate's not good. Fate, for the sake of movement, right?
What? Choose your words very carefully.
What?
About Fate.
I like Fate.
I know. Just pull out
For the sake of movement and fights, that's at the bar higher than Dragon Ball, right? For sure. Because then I went back to Dragon Ball and I looked and I'm like, oh, these are just repetitive movements. Fate was real fight choreography in animation form, which introduced 3D. Because when you put the leads on people in the blue suits, you need 3 dimensions, right? I mean, maybe you don't need it. I shouldn't say that. I don't know for sure. But why wouldn't you use it if you have it, right? And that's what they're saying. Oh, it looks more fluid, more natural. I thought it looked cooler. But here's the thing. They produce it to that level, and then other studios or other houses go, we could do that, and then we're going to cut costs by doing this, this, and this, right? And I think that might be where Blue Lock's at right now. That's what it sounds like anyway. Where they're like, how do we make it cheaper in a way?
Honestly, maybe. And I feel like
because it's soccer.
It is.
So you don't think they have actual soccer players in suits moving around? I'm sure they do, and that's going to get pricey.
Maybe not. If they're saving the budget in the first half of the season to then use it all in the second half of the season.
Or they're making a movie.
I think the movie already came out.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why they blew the budget on the movie.
Maybe.
Movies are expensive.
That is true. I haven't seen the movie, but if they blow the budget in the second half of the season, I'll be like, okay, you know what? I can live with that. I think that would save the rest of the fans where you're like, okay, we're just using this later.
We're speculating. We don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't have a contact at Crunchyroll or whatever house is doing that.
Did you know that, speaking of Crunchyroll, because I love Crunchyroll. I love it. I do. I think the original owner is a genius for being like, how come there's no streaming for anime?
Bada bing.
I mean, duh. You have to have the money to do it, obviously, or the people. But it's such a, like, when I heard about it, I'm like, oh, what's a Crunchyroll? First, I don't know why they named it that. Like, it could have been named a lot of other things. Why Crunchyroll? Who knows? It just stuck. Maybe. Who knows? Because think about it. When I first heard of that, is it like a crunchy sushi roll?
I was gonna say, I'm like, what if it's like a crunchy roll?
But even sushi roll would be more relatable to the demographics, right?
Yeah.
So what we relate to when we watch anime, than Crunchyroll. I think it might be a type. I mean, I know that you could get a crunch roll, sushi roll.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Why are we talking about what ifs right now?
It's almost midnight. That's why we're just like, what about this, dude?
Yeah.
It's like we're not high, but we're having this high conversation. Like, man, you know what? What if I learned how to cut a puffer fish perfectly for that sushi? Would you trust me?
Nope. I had puffer fish in front of me in Japan.
Oh, you did?
I had it in front of me, and which the fish there is on a different level. Oh my god. Sorry, excuse me. Best when they say you're gonna have the best sashimi in Japan. I don't even care what city you're in. Some people dictate oh, Osaka has the best because it's the kitchen, right? Or whatever they call it, the kitchen of Japan.
Yeah.
I had sushi and sashimi in every city I went to, and I personally think, I would say probably Osaka had the better one.
Okay.
But that's only because they literally have so much food there. It's that's their thing. Their culinary stuff is their thing. So they have a ton of stuff.
I'm gonna get fat.
No, you're not, dude. We splurged. We ate everything and anything. Matcha Kit Kats.
Oh yeah, I tried some.
Sushi. I'm already losing the Japanese I learned. Oh my gosh. The octopus balls.
Oh, not sukiyaki. Tokoyaki.
Tokoyaki.
Yeah.
Yes, tokoyaki. Dude, this stuff was drowned in, teriyaki, sugary, whatever, right? I'll go to bed, I'll be like, I am so full. I'm like, I am going to gain back all the weight I lost, right? I came back, dude. I was the same exact weight.
Thank you.
Because their food's better. It's just, sorry, U.S. food sucks. It's all it does is make you fat. It doesn't do anything for you. Nothing. It's all, I don't care what people say about that, but that it is what it is. I'm still to right now, I'm eating and I'm
Japan was better.
The 7-Eleven food was better.
The konbini. Dude, the fried chicken, I can't wait to have that. I can't wait
to gyoza?
Huh?
The gyoza?
No, not the gyoza, the actual fried chicken that they sell.
That's gyoza.
Oh, it's called gyoza?
Gyoza.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I think of gyoza, I think of something different.
I mean, this I'm mistaken, but I mean, I called it gyoza and they gave me fried chicken. So,
Fair
Japanese
enough.
fried chicken. I didn't get actually, a lot of the Japanese people liked me.
Ah.
Yeah, I obviously don't know any Japanese. I know very few phrases now, but no, like I do know the culture. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I understand, and it's because it's kind of who I am too. Like, and that's why I gravitate towards Japan so much. And everything we talked about this already, right? But like the respect, the value, like just the simple value of like pick up your own freaking trash, right?
Dude, oh my gosh.
Like just that. Like it's not like groundbreaking or like earth shattering, right? It's just simple. Yet we don't do it in the US, right?
Or like when you're done with your like plates or dishes or whatever, like at a restaurant, you like at least like put them together.
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
I used to be a busser at a restaurant for like a few months. And the worst thing, well, I used to work front of house, but then every once in a while they need me to do expo or they need me to bus because like we have time and we have enough people in the front desk and we're slow. So can you just help us?
Right.
But there were times like you would bust the tables and you have a cup here, plate here, cup there, straw wrapper on the like over here on the chair, napkins on the floor. Some kid stuffing all the crayons into the cup, and you're just like,
thanks. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a lack. But here's the thing: is whatever it is that people are doing here, it comes down to a lack of respect, right? Now, back in the day, back in the day now is like the 1990s. Before then, I would say, like my grandfather, right? He would be caught dead going outside without a suit. Now some people are like, that's excessive, yada yada yada. You know, that's just you're trying to show off or whatever. Like the thing is he respects himself enough to get himself ready, right? Like if I was on camera, if he knew I was on camera like this, he'd be like, "What the heck are you wearing?" Right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I just don't care right now." He's like, "Well, I always cared. They always comb their hair. They always whatever. They always all that stuff, right?" In Japan, it's kind of like that still, right? There, we were on the trains, we were walking around. It's high 80s, low 90s, okay? And like 90% humidity. It is hot. Like I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts and I'm like drenched, right? Well, I'm carrying my daughter, I'm carrying her, like all the stuff, everything. And these guys are like clean cut, suit, on the train going to work. And I'm like, there is no one I know other than car salesmen who go to work like that now.
the
right?
Japanese salary man.
Well, yeah, but like in there's certain too, it's like they kind of like they're proud of that, Again, respect, values, all that stuff that like it just seems like isn't here anymore.
It seems a little lost, yeah. Because like you'll even look like the 1910s, 1920s, like everybody again suits, either suspenders with anything or like at least a vest. Yeah. Okay. Quick tangent. Which would you rather have to choose to wear, the suspenders or the vest? Because I'm torn. I'm like I think the suspenders look cool because you're kind of just like like we're done for the day, but the vest looks just so like you get it fitted right and as well like your body.
I'm gonna have to say vest because when I got married I wore a vest. So I'll have to say vest.
I've seen the pictures. You actually look pretty good. I don't know. I think I'm torn between two because like the vest, you look very formal. You look really good. Like especially if you're like working out, it looks good. But like the suspenders, you can rest it or like you just like the days that you're like, oh man, I'm just tired. That's that extra exaggeration.
Yeah. I think the vest. I think you're right. Like the vest is more like prepped up, whereas the suspenders would be kind of like laid back. Yeah, it's more of a laid back. Even though they're still nice. Yeah, for today's standards, they're excessively nice. But it's like back then, it was like, yeah, suspenders. Oh, you're just chilling today, then, huh? It's like you ain't going to no meetings. It's like, nope,
you're like you're
I'm wearing
done.
my suspenders today. Like I'm done.
Like imagine you're being like that, like fancy and put together as you're relaxing.
That was my grandfather.
Which is like nuts to like see, because it's just like, my question is, what happened during that? Well, of course you're saying the respect, but I'm like, it's just crazy how just a little bit time over time how things started.
Because
like,
lack of
shifting.
respect also means lack of self-respect. Which I'm not gonna say that I'm like perfect. Like I've had lack of self-respect too. Like you have self-respect, you wouldn't let yourself get overweight, and I have been. So lack of self-respect, you know. You know, letting yourself. And think about it. Think about in Japan, like their culture, and what they do, and the bowing, and which the bowing is, you know, is equivalent to shaking someone's hand. Which you were a youth leader too.
Yes.
And we've been around me and Brandon have been around lots of kids. Okay, different age ranges. Have any of them ever shook your hand? Like when they first met you, they went up. They don't know you. And they went, "Oh, you're going to be my group leader. Okay, hi, my name is yada yada."
Not for the groups, but for coaching, they have. When I coach, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, thank you, coach." Like it's just like, "Oh, thank you for training," or like the first few times, and then eventually they get to know you.
Recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when I started coaching,
Well,
like, and it was somebody new, they'd be like, "Oh yes, thank you, coach. Thank you, coach."
That's one of those things that why sports are a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it does teach that. It does teach kind of like
that sense of like, okay, you respect those above you. You understand,
well,
like
they're
authority.
teaching you something, right?
Yeah.
But for the 99% of
they don't,
right? And when I was growing up, and I would say my grandparents taught me this more than my own parents, was when you go somewhere, you say hi to everybody, right? Even if you don't know them. Well, I don't know. Well, so it's rude to just walk into someone's home or go to a party or go to an event and you just walk in and sit down and don't say nothing, right? It's like, okay, I guess, like, one, it could come off as you don't care. You
don't want to be there.
Which is rude, right? It's like, you don't want to be here, then don't show up. And that it's that you haven't been taught manners, right? And it's like, well, why do I have to do that? It's like, it's not. Here's the thing: is you should want to do that. That's called manners. Yeah. You should want to pick up your own trash. You should want to. Oh, some old lady dropped her bag.
Let me help.
And there's trash, or in the trash file, or there's trash in the bag, and maybe whatever. You pick it up now, right? Like that's how it is over. That's what I'm saying. We're getting off on this like really long tangent here, but like that's what I'm trying to say is like over there, there is no like they don't think about it. They just do it because that's how they're raised.
It's just natural,
right? And so they were like, oh, they're too intense or whatever. It's like, really? That's too intense for people nowadays? Like, come on.
I think as well it's because like it's different from our norm. So people are like, oh, this is new and strange. And then trying to overcorrect also is kind of funny because one time my friend, he called me because he needed something. It's like his grandfather died. He's like, hey, dude, like, do you mind helping me out with the funeral? And like, can you just be there to help me out the door, like to hand things or whatever? So I was like, yes. He's like, but he's Korean. So he's like, when you bow, they bow, and you bow lower than them. And it's not like typically the 3 bows. Sometimes I was like doing 5 or 7 because it'd be like, oh, yes. So it's a little funny when you're just trying to overcorrect, but I can completely see when you're like, oh yeah, this is cool to shake your hands. I'm like, I know that firsthand.
Yeah, dude. So why do we talk about that?
I don't know.
We're just talking about like nonsense today, dude.
I think it's just all me. You're talking, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, here's this random thing. You're just like, all right.
Nah, I mean, here. Okay, how about this? We gotta talk about some kind of anime stuff, man. Okay, so how about let's
Oh, okay. If you could have
ask me questions about Japan. I just came back from Japan, so let's do that.
That's
for
true.
For a little while.
Oh, there goes my other question that I had.
Okay, go. Let's do the other question.
Sound like a disappointed toddler.
Is it about anime?
It can be. Okay, if you could have any.
Shoot, we didn't put our balls on the table.
Good night, everybody. Okay. Struggling with mine. There we go. Here's my ball. His is on his keychain. But the question is...
Mine's on my keychain, and this is as you can see, I got a bigger ball now.
Massive. Imagine just if you had a black screen. Won't saying all that. But if you could have any video game have an anime adaptation and it's done well, what would you have?
So it's a video game that will be turned into an anime.
Yeah. Like
Really?
My favorite.
I already got it.
What is it?
Super Smash Bros.
Ooh, that would actually be pretty damn good.
Come on, dude.
Super Smash Brothers.
That would be the ultimate shounen, dude. Shounen?
It'd be ultimate shouting, man.
Dude, that would be. Can you imagine? Animate out Mario, animate out Kirby.
Oh wait, did I ever show you the Super Mario manga that I have?
But what anime style would they take on?
Imagine they use this one.
Oh yeah, show me that one.
Yeah, that would be funny if they use this one. Well, my question is as well the storyline. Have you ever you play Super Smash Bros. Brawl, right?
Yeah.
Would you want something similar to Subspace Emissary or brand new story?
I would want an original story.
You want an original story?
Yeah, because then it's just like, oh, you're just
Animating.
piggybacking off of the video. Well, I mean, you are in a sense anyway. But I know what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
Final Fantasy.
I think they've actually made Final Fantasy movies before, but I don't know about anime.
I'm talking about like an anime series. Like,
well, here's the thing. Mine is a bit of a cheat because I haven't played the game, but I love the adaptation. You're not the biggest fan of it because we mentioned it before. Castlevania.
but they have an anime.
I know that's what I'm saying, but I'm just like I'm kind of cheating because I'm like I don't think anything that I'd ever want will top that. Because like as a kid, it'd be Sonic. They had Sonic X. They had Sonic Underground. Again, phenomenal. But in my opinion, after seeing Castlevania get that anime adaptation, I can't think of any really other game that I would love to see as an adaptation. Because Final Fantasy, the remake at least, it feels like you're playing an anime, and I just enjoy that the whole time. Because the animation, how it is, or the program that they use, and then as well the cutscenes and the story throughout, I'm like, dude, I'd rather play this than watch it because you just feel a little bit more immersed. But dude, Castlevania, you just reminded me of such an old memory. So back in YouTube's earlier days when I was younger, again, I was obsessed with Sonic, obsessed with Mario, so I would look up like even like Super Smash Bros. Brawl gameplay. There was something called Super Smash Brothers Z.
Z?
Yeah, Super Smash Brothers Z. And it was like this parody on YouTube where they got Mario, Luigi, Sonic, Shadow, and I think Yoshi too. And it was like Dragon Ball, but just with these characters.
That sounds cool.
It was like in this old little pixel animation too. This is like old, back in the day YouTube. I don't know if anybody else knows that. Or, yeah. But I'm just like, oh my gosh.
It's just funny how you say back in the day YouTube. It's like YouTube is not back in the day, even at its first iteration.
For me, when I was younger. YouTube in its earlier years.
I remember watching. I told it's in one of the previous videos, but I watched. I don't even know how I watched these videos because YouTube didn't exist. I don't know where we got them from. I know for sure they were from some kind of torrent or BitTorrent place or something. That's it. I don't know.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
I thought you were gonna like break into a story. I
don't know where they came from, and my uncle would just find them online, and they would. They would play on the screen, and my brother would be like,
what is it with like the uncles that you'll just be like, oh yeah, I figured this out, or oh I have this story. You're just like,
yeah,
what the? It's always the uncles. It's never just like, oh yeah, the aunts or like.
My uncle made a wireless controller before wireless controllers even were a thing. Yeah, both my uncles are like computer engineer level, like like they, but one of them didn't do it. One of them did. The other one's in construction now. But I mean, still requires a lot of knowledge.
That is true.
So like, yeah, he had a PlayStation, and then the wire got cut somehow. I don't know if it was like one of his kids or something, or just someone. Because back then, if you crimp them hard enough, they would kind of break on the inside. And this is PS1, so he's like, oh well, he had remote control cars and stuff that he would like make and build. So he cut the wire, put a receiver on the end of the wire. Put the extender, and then he had the receiver on the wire coming out of the PlayStation, and it worked.
Some MacGyver crap right there.
I mean, he could have probably paid and sold it to Sony.
Dude, imagine if he did.
Probably
just like,
could.
Oh, yeah,
They'd have been like, hey, it's a good idea.
this.
Let's just make it smaller. Put it in the controller. That's what they did eventually.
Yeah.
They just used infrared tech for that.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Great. Now I'm like, if you could have the original patent for anything, what would you?
But it only
patent?
worked if you were like line of sight. Like you had to be like right in front of it. If you went to like off the side on the couch, it would like not get signal.
Not good. You know what's one video game console I wish made a comeback? The plug and play games.
Plug and play. Which the cartridges?
No. So there was this certain company,
You mean like Atari style games.
No. So, funny how that's what you think of when it comes to plug and play. No, there used to be these little boxes that it was its own little console, and it would have a little Joy-Con on top. You have one for Spider-Man, Scooby-Doo, Shrek, and literally it was the console, and you just plug it into the TV. It wasn't like the Atari where it's like, it's the game.
You mean
it's
like Duck Hunt and all those other ones?
No, here, let me find it.
You know, Duck Hunt's you had a gun, right?
Yes.
And then you plug in the gun, and then Duck Hunt would turn on, and then you just shoot the screen.
Let me see. Plug and play video games?
Yeah, but Atari has a plug and play. You get it at Target for like $5.
I'm talking about these sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's it? Oh, well, my brain was going somewhere different.
Yeah, Atari has one of these.
Oh, well, I don't know.
This is newer tech.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have to really establish what me and you consider.
This is the funny
new
thing.
and
I'm
old.
just like, this is back in the day. And Ryan's like,
Dude, this
what are you
is
talking about?
expensive.
How much is it?
$145.
Jeez. I used to have one for Shrek. I had one for Scooby-Doo. I had one for Spider-Man. I could never beat the lizard in the maze. There was this one where you went around like the sewers in a maze trying to find the lizard. I didn't have the patience for that one.
Dude, tell me that games in the 80s were made to make you cry.
I could probably see
You
that.
know how hard 80s games are to beat?
Oh my goodness. Have you ever heard of this?
Have you ever beat Pac-Man?
No, I've never beat Pac-Man.
Have you ever beat Dig Dug? Have you ever beat Asteroid? No.
Those games were just meant to like just eat your
You're meant to
quarters.
like mentally debilitate. You'd be like, I am not smart enough for this. Just stop. I want to go dig a hole in the dirt now.
I'm gonna go play with the stick.
Exactly. And now like they make it so easy. They are easy. These games are easy to do things in these games that you're like, okay, I'll just keep playing forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh, speaking of games, did you hear that you can sell your soul to the devil on Fortnite?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Look it up.
What the hell? Freaking, you're going here, you can sell your soul to the devil on Fortnite. I was going to say, have you ever heard Takeshi's Challenge?
I was like, okay, interesting. Not a fan.
Or brand new Fortnite season?
Creative, I guess.
What the hell? Contracts, conspiracy. Oh my gosh. Oh, is it freaking, what's his name? Because is it a Marvel crossover right now?
It's a Marvel crossover.
Wait, I know his name. What is it?
They're saying that that's who it is. It's not,
Satan.
yeah.
Well, he is the devil in the Marvel universe. What is his name? Oh my gosh, new rock star. This
Yeah, I know.
this YouTube channel that I
But
watch.
come on. It's
Mephisto, that's his name. Yes, but I know exactly what you mean.
You know
Sorry.
what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
yeah. So, same but different.
Same but different.
Same.
If I had if I had a nickel for every game that I thought that you could sell your soul to the devil, I'd have 2 nickels. Because have you ever played Cuphead?
Cuphead?
Yes.
No.
Cuphead came out, I think, 2018. It was in the style of like 1920s anime. It was 1920s animation style, and it was a running gun. So you were like, so it's gonna be like a 1920s cartoon. There's 2 cups. They're literally cup heads. It's like cartoon bodies and like cup heads. One's called Cuphead, and one's called Mugman. So his head looks more like a mug. And the basic premise is that, again, this is probably like 1920s-esque. So just picture the scenery as well. They live with the gentleman called the Older Kettle. I think that's like their grandfather or something. He's like, oh yeah, you boys go and play, go have all this fun, but don't cross the railroad tracks. It's like, 'cause that's where the devil is with his casino.
And
but
that's where you go.
And that's where they go before the game even starts. And then Cuphead is like on a roll. He's winning all this money, and then the devil comes out. He's like, well, use my dice. If you win everything in my casino. But if you lose, you give your soul to me. You get snake eyes. Then he's like, oh, well, I own your soul. They run away. Elder Kettle was like, okay, here you go. Here's the weapon here's your first weapon. And then the game starts. As a run and gun and basically defeat everybody getting contracts. And then you fight the devil at the end.
Interesting.
It's a really fun and rage-inducing game because it is difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, It seemed very difficult when it came out. I played and I got through like the first 2 bosses, but as it goes, it gets pretty dang hard.
Let's talk about video games. I
I was gonna say, well, now is not the time for philosophy.
Yeah.
It is nearly midnight right now.
Yeah.
This is like the stoner talk. So, video games. That's what's
So I like.
okay. What do you like?
I'm trying to think like, what is like my preference when it comes to video games? I really didn't have like a specific like nowadays like kids have like a game like it's their like that's their game, right?
Yeah.
And that's all they play, and it's like how I played. I probably played about 1,000 games, and I'm like because counting arcade games and
I was gonna say I'm like
all,
I am jealous of your time period because you used to go. Your time period makes it sound like your history book.
Yeah.
Like you could just go to the arcades and play like all these things.
Arcade, and then like we had this. There's this place here in the San Fernando Valley called Game Dude. It's in North Hollywood, and you could literally just walk in, and they had like, I don't know how I found a Gundam game from Japan and played it on my PlayStation 2, and I figured out how to play it somehow.
You're just like if I press enough buttons, something will
and
work.
it was fun. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you buy like 5-6 CDs for like $30, and you play them. Now, if you're not a AAA level game, no one plays.
A lot of people don't play. Well, indie games have started to make a bit of a rise, but like of course,
But that's all
AAA
it was
dominating.
back in the day, dude. Back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s actually started the Call of Duty era. But you saw a cover and you're like, oh, that looks cool. Mm-hmm. I had this one called Space Race, and you literally raced like Jimmy Neutron style rockets in space, and you could power up, level up, get lasers, stuff like that. There's another one, Galactica, I think it was called, something like that. I don't know. There's like a bunch of
there's Galaga and Galactica.
yeah,
there's like a few other ones.
Bunch of different stuff, and then like you had some like random like Power Rangers. Like when did Power Rangers get a PlayStation game? Like okay, I'll try it.
Ooh, I had a Power Rangers.
You play Power Rangers sometimes. You would play like a movie would come out like. There was a SpongeBob game on PlayStation. And
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, and like just random stuff. Like my brother had this game from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh my god!
And that one was actually pretty fun.
I think the most random game I've ever owned. That I don't know if anybody knows this. I think it's Monsters Incorporated Scarefloor. I forget if that's the exact name. You will never guess the actual premise of this. Let me find like the actual name. But
while you're looking for that, I'm gonna keep going. It's like what I'm saying is like you used to play games because you wanted to find fun, unique games, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why you go to Chuck E. Cheese and be like, oh, I wonder what they have now, and you go try some new stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, I think Xbox started the AAA franchise game. To be honest, with Halo.
Oh, Halo was from what I've heard was amazing,
but Halo deserved it. Mm-hmm. Original story, original characters, original concept,
good storylines, that people still talk to this day.
Dude, like my friend we were all diehard Sony guys, right? All of me and my buddies, and my buddy. Oh my gosh, it's late. I'm blanking out right now. Rudy, my friend Rudy, got rid of his PlayStation and got an Xbox. And we were like, what? Back then, there's no cell phones, right? So when we went over to his house,
you saw it.
I got an Xbox, and we're like, you loser.
How dare you betray us?
We were so mad. And like, you couldn't even play with each other online back then, right? But we would take our controllers and plug in.
Yeah, the split screen era.
Right? Yeah. And no, we can't plug in. He goes, no. Like, my mom bought me 4 controllers. I was like, dang, he got like a big present.
I'm like, that was the big bucks.
You got 4 controllers? I was balling back then. Man, that was a good times. So he had the original Xbox with Halo on it, right? He even got the Halo Edition Xbox. And I remember Xbox had catching up to do to Sony still. Because when he turned that thing on, it was like, whoo, you could hear the fan, right? You could hear the fan. It got hot. like he would be like, "Oh, it's getting hot. It's overheating." So we had to put like another fan on it. So all you would hear were fans when we were playing Halo. But when we were playing that game, dude, we're like, you look at the graphics, they're so garbage for what they do now.
Mm-hmm.
But like we were looking, we're like, oh my god, there's mountains.
Like that's the
we're
crazy
running,
thing.
like where they were in this and that. Like it was insane. Like that game. It was hard enough to be like, man, this is an adult's game.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also, you were able to figure it out quick enough and get down with the controls. Because let's be honest, going from PlayStation to an Xbox controller, it was literally like learning how to walk again.
Because
right?
the buttons are also like
now
inverted.
they're pretty much the same. From like Sony actually went towards the Xbox style of the controller more than their style now.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, like their the ergonomic controller is very Xboxy, and to my standards, because my controllers were PS1 controllers, and they were like literally like what bruised your palm. Like, you remember that?
The PlayStation,
like the way they would sit in your hand, it would hurt.
No, I know the PlayStation 2 controllers because I went Nintendo route because I had GameCube.
And Nintendo also had weird controllers too. Mm-hmm. The N64 controllers were weird.
Dude, I remember having an N64 and I was just like, what do I even use this thing for? Because I remember I didn't have Smash Brothers. I had Mario Kart. And I think like 2 other games.
Oh, and remember, you would buy these things, the consoles, and they wouldn't have no instructions as to what the buttons did at all.
You just
it was
figure
just
it
like,
out.
okay, game's on. Oh, that's what that does. But you would learn it
because it was like smarter game mechanics. Because they even say like in Mario, like the first screen, it tells you all the info you need. No
technical difficulties. For some reason, our camera just said stop recording for no reason, but it's recording now. So interesting. But yeah, we're gonna try to land this plane here for episode 5. We know it was kind of all over the place, and we didn't really have a topic. No. But we just really wanted to just get back in the groove of things and just talk. Let us know if you guys liked it. Let us know if you guys were like, man, you guys were all over the place and didn't make really any points or whatever. I guess what we can get from this episode is Ryan went to Japan and he liked it and he wants to live there. I want to buy a property there if possible at some point.
Oh, the dream.
Yeah. Well, I'm down to go in it with other people too. I'm not going to live there, so
someone in the comment, Ryan, please.
I know, right? So, yeah, Japan was great. We got some cool new stuff. I actually have other stuff, inside. I got my very expensive kitchen knife. That's the whole dad vibe there. I got to get something that I can cook for the family with.
And it is sharp.
It's beautiful.
Like you showed me, like he just got the paper and just
when they say Japanese quality knives are the thing, are it. They are it. They are. They really are. They are. And I'm a knife guy. I love knives. I have like my little Leatherman multi-tool here with this is my new one actually. I haven't shown you yet.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
What else I got? Do I got my knife on me right now? I do.
She's always strapped.
I got my Benchmade S30V stainless steel. Anyway, we could talk about knives one day too.
Yeah, sure.
I love blades because, again, Japan has a history and culture steeped in making blades. Obviously, katanas, right? Mm-hmm. And they really value scissors over there, dude.
Really?
Yeah, like high quality shears or snips for like pruners. Yeah, pruners for like bonsais and all that.
Oh, obviously,
thing, dude. And some of them were more expensive than the knife I bought. I was like, wow.
Well, because bonsais in general are actually just expensive.
Yeah, which I did want to buy one out there, but I'm like, how am I going to take it back?
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to just destroyed on the way over here. So,
well, you can't get the Lego version. That's what I actually got a Lego one.
Real one.
Well, I'm just saying it might be better.
I could get one. There's actually, there's a bonsai master here in the valley, actually. Really? Yeah.
Well, okay, what considers you a bonsai master? My question. You just raise them and they don't die? And this is surprising.
We'll have to look it up.
This is so sharp.
It's very sharp, dude. Be careful.
I am. Well, am. I was just, okay, here's the weird thing. I'm feeling how sharp it is. I'm like, I just want to keep pressing it. I don't know why.
It's sharp. It got me. Look, right here.
Oh. For a half second, I thought he was gonna do the thing where he just like. Do you know this game?
Oh,
the circle thing. Okay, I remember that from when I was a kid. I remember when I was a kid, we used to do that as well, and then it came back.
They did in high school.
Yeah, so it made a comeback.
It did?
Yeah, because people do that now.
Oh, I don't.
People are like, "Oh yeah, this is like new," and I'm like, "Dude, we did that when we were younger."
Yeah.
Well, I was a child. You were younger.
So many things we could still talk about. We're just going to be ranting for the rest of the night.
But yeah, so if anything, if you guys enjoyed, let us know. If from any of the questions that we asked, whether if there's a place you would like to visit in Japan, if you would like to live in Japan, any
we are
video
going
game
to continue.
adaptations.
Yeah. Oh, but what?
Any video game to anime adaptations that you would love to see. Heck, someone might say something completely out of left field and might just go, "Oh, you know what? What if we just had an Asteroids one?" Or also, the next part, you're gonna hear the most random video game I owned. That if anybody else has played this, you will understand that it doesn't make any sense with the franchise. So, on that note, coming to you. I was going to say live, but coming to you from a dumpy little garage in the San Fernando Valley. Killing me, Smalls.
What? I'm supposed to say it now? Oh.
If I say your bit, then you got to say my bit.
I'm supposed to say you're Brandon?
You're just like, I'm Ryan and he's Brandon.
Oh, I've never said that for us before, dude.
Again, I told you, I just recently edited everything down. This happened in like a few episodes ago too. No, this was with Mark, when we were filming with Mark. I said this part and then you just look at me, you're like, Bridging Otacos. I was just like...
Sorry, I did that?
Yeah, you look at me, you're just like, Bridging Otacos.
You can't. I have to say the beginning, dude. I cannot do the end.
Fine.
I can't. All right. So, oh my gosh, we have to rewatch this. We'll have to rewatch this one. So coming to you, I can't even talk. Oh my god. Coming to you from a dumpy little garage in the San Fernando Valley.
I'm Brandon, and he's Ryan, and this has been Bridging Otacos. Good night, everybody.
Too late at night.
Dude, midnight.
Wait, we didn't even... Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, now you can go on and do whatever you want. Next YouTube video or something. Or you know what? Go outside.
Really give us some comments here because we really need some direction on like what we're going to talk about next because there's so much that happened in Japan that I'm like, I don't know how to organize it.
Journal. Well, that's what I do. I journal so that I have ideas of memories.
Yeah.
But let us know.
Yeah.
Give us
great.
Give us directions.